Ayiyanchu, the first Quechua word that I heard when I arrived to Cusco in October last year. Cusco is Inca's land in Peru, and Ayiyanchu means, how are you? I reply, Ayiyanmi. Ayiyanmi, it can be translated as, I am fine, I am very good, because it was how I felt, with many ideas, full of energy, and with a lot of expectation about the new project in early childhood development that we will launch in there in Cusco. It was my first pandemic trip, so I felt as if I had been released from the cage and I could breathe again. So now I had my mask as my friendship companion on trip. Moreover, I feel Ayiyanmi because Cusco is a meaningful place for me. The first reason is because my mom was born there. And I remember when I was a child, I traveled with my mom, with her to visit her families. More than 25 years ago, my mother had a stroke, and she cannot sleep, she cannot eat, she cannot move. She is in a bed. And we can travel together, but we can have a beautiful moment of interaction. For example, every day during the breakfast, I ask her, Mama, ¿quién soy yo? Mom, who am I? And she replied, my sister, mi hermana. No, Mama, I am Nancy, your daughter. And my mom smiled. 10 minutes later, I asked her again, Mama, ¿quién soy yo? Mom, who am I? She looked at me, smiled, and replied, Margarita. No, Mama, Margarita is you. You are my mother. And together smile. This situation sounds funny, but really the most important thing for my family is because my mom is with us. She's the motor for my family. The second reason that Cusco is a meaningful place for me is because it's a place where I made my professional internship. And so many memories automatically coming to my mind. Ocongate is the community when I lived for almost 1 year, and it's located at 4,000 meters above sea level. And it's one of the community more poor in Cusco. And I am a nutritionist. And during this time, I had to train community health workers in topics related to maternal child health and nutrition. And also interview with pregnant women to explore their perception about pregnancy. I remember an special one pregnant woman who shared her initial fears when she found out she was pregnant because she had two children and lost their birth with this. But however, she felt that this pregnancy was different because she didn't feel alone. She received the support from her husband, from her parents, and from her community health worker. And she had to walk 2 hours to the closer health center. And she was very, very grateful with the community health worker because he visited her weekly for health educational sessions. And this also, community health worker let her horse so that she could go to the health center and complete her prenatal checkups. The community health worker in Peru don't receive any salaries, is not formally part of the health system. Her work is voluntary. And this experience led me to recognize the value of the community health worker. And from that moment, I knew that my thing, my passion, my way will be the community health. After some years working, one of the most challenging projects in my life came when I was to give the responsibility of coordinate a pilot research project called Casita in Partnering Health Peru. Here comes my first lesson learned. We are legends every day. As singer Chris Martin said. You remember, do you know who is Chris Martin, yeah? So beautiful, yeah. Okay, turn your magic on, everything you want, dreams away. We are legends every day. At that time, my experience had been 100% in the field. And I didn't know anything about research, ethics committee, grants, budget, accompaniment, nothing, really. And our goal with this pilot was to demonstrate the impact of the community model intervention in the improvement of the early childhood development in poor urban areas of Lima. Our focus was the community health worker. So it was necessary to implement strategies to train in topics related to the early childhood development, like to mental health, iron deficiency, self and return, and other topics. And strengthen their capacities to lead a sessions, a group of parents. I remember a Melby. Melby, she was a community health worker for this pilot. She never finished her basic school, no, but she had a real connection with her community. I really was powerful. And I remember one day Melby come to the office crying, and asking for help for a mother who offered domestic violence, no? But at that time, she had beaten her child so badly that she needed to head him to a hospital. The children was 20 months of age. Melby told me that accompaniment to community health worker is equal or maybe same important that training. Really, the accompaniment and training is the best match, like a Tinder. Okay, then they are a perfect complement. Accompaniment to ensure the quality of the implementation, but moreover, to get to know someone better, their fears, their strengths, their motivations, and to know how I give support. Our educational sessions include emotional support for the parents. But from that moment, we decide to implement emotional support groups for the community health workers. When finalized this pilot, our results were good. We obtained other grants with Grant Talents Canada. We are all excited. And our second step was to scaling of the project to district level. Also know what deliver an integral attention to families, mental health, and clinical support. And none of this would has been possible without the technical team that accompanied me in this experience, 20 professionals and 30 community health workers to attend 1,700 families in the Caraballo district. It really was an amazing experience. And here comes my second lesson learned. As singer Stevie Wonder said, as long as I know I have love, I can make it. Yeah, okay. When the COVID-19 pandemic started, we had pause in our activities. During the quarantine, we saw limited children access to health center, and we decided to adapt our face-to-face intervention to a virtual context using WhatsApp, chatbots, videos, because we want to continue bringing support to the families. Was beautiful discovered the interaction between the community health worker and the parents was really strong. However, the first years of the pandemic was difficult, yeah? And the professional and community health worker team was also mentally and physically negatively affected, and many of them had to leave the project. Our strategy in that moment was to reorganize the role and the function. And in the middle of this situation, we received the news about the interest of Minister of Health to scale the intervention at the regional level. Wow. I was surprising because before pandemic, the early childhood development, like a topic, was not a priority by the government. We discussed it with my team, and we decided to continue the next step. And it was coincidentally when I received the news that I would be part of Atlantic Fellows Health Equity. And boy, what the sum of the best news I have received the past year. I really, when I read the email, oh my gosh. And then I really was amazing. Well, and what do you think? Cusco was the city chosen by the Minister of Health. Yes. Cusco again, great coincidence. This intervention is part of my project as fellows. And to be honest, it's not easy. Not only because it's in the rural context, it's different than our experience in pilot and scaling in urban zones, but also because it's a pilot to the transfer of the intervention to public health systems and local government. Many times the context exceeds our planning, and there was no progress. We have to rethink our strategies. In this process, it was important to listen at the community, at the team, at your professional teams, at the community team, because they know what the community think from their interaction with the community and community leaders. We have gone through many challenges in these short times, and that can confront leadership and teamwork. However, these moments are also opportunities to rethink the meaning, the leadership of teamwork, and confer as team commitment. A leader also experiences uncertainty, recognize that he or she is vulnerable and cannot keep everything under their control, just like each of the people who are part of our team. And it is precisely at the moment that we visualize the commitment of a team, a commitment that goes beyond the technical and the fulfillment of goals. It's a commitment of truth, empathy, and passion. And end my talk by saying that let's not underestimate the power of a group of people who are passionate about their work and community, because when they make the decision to team up with you, they are also placing their trust in building a just society and health system. Every day we will have many challenges in our life, in our work, in our house. I don't know, everyone to know. But really we have the power of the trust in the people in our team. Exists a beautiful people around us. And you are part of my family now. You are part for my team. You are part of a leaders that I can, the trust of us if I had any problems. I really thank you so much for all the time, for this wonderful year. Thank you so much, Kate, because I remember always my first conversation with you when I feel so frustration for Cusco. I had in this moment all the work, but really your words was very, very motivation for me. And thank you everyone. Really, you are amazing, incredible team, and we will have challenge, but we are Atlantic's Fellow Health Equity Fellows, yes? And what is the problem? We can do it. Okay, thank you so much.